Hello and welcome to another episode of Déssinées for Stupid Muricans. I'm your host, Frederic Guimont, and today we're going to review the aptly named Time Lost. Let's dive into it. So, this Dessinée I picked up for superficial reasons, dinosaurs, time travel, jocks and cheerleaders, Nazis again, and these cool contraptions here that seem to be kind of like a Bioshock inspired. Let's dive into it. Great setup, great interior page as always. Uh, the script scenario is done by Jean-Luc Sala and drawings and colors by Afif Khaled for Soleil. So we've got a lot of Soleil lately. We start in World War II. This is apparently a version of Operation Paperclip, and it's a more dramatized version where they go in forcefully and just blast their way into killing Nazis and looking for two specific scientists they want to extract. They find one, but the other's missing. The other one is clearly Jewish. They kind of are a little bit redundant here. You got close up on the wrench and an extra panel over the Star of David here. He's working on a crazy contraption we haven't seen before. And he's obviously in a hangar with Nazis being very evil and kind of threatening his family if he doesn't comply, building the technology that they're requiring. We don't get too much information what the technology is, but we'll soon find out when we see it in action. Then we flash forward to Pensacola, Florida. We're not told which time period it is, and it is a little bit confusing because we're in the modern day, but our characters are driving an old-fashioned car. So I think it's the girl's mom's. Yeah, no, it's the guy's mom is lending him his car, and he's driving the cheerleader around, who is a bit of a bitch. A bit of an unlikable character. We'll get to know the reasons why a little bit later, but she's just hanging out with him because he's got a car. And I think she's more into girls, and we're going to pick up her girlfriend or something. We see an incredible, beautiful drawn interior of an, aviation museum. We see the employee here, who's the only employee on site, but he's cleaning up with a broom. He's got the keys, and he's telling them, yeah, their friend is not in this hangar. You'll have to go look in the further away. And they go find her lady friend, and she's in another hangar. And then we cut back to World War II again. And it's towards the end of the war. They've got a little bit of having a. I'm not super thrilled with the scripting, the actual writing. Bit superficial to my taste, but I mean, it might be geared to younger readers, to be honest. Not a whole lot of action in these two pages, and then we're back here in present time, and we're basically he's kind of groveling at her feet, saying, "Would you ever sleep with me if you weren't on a desert island?" Like groveling in the worst pathetic way. And she's like, "No, no, no. Then why are you hanging out with me? Because you got a car." She's very despicable. Both characters are kind of like uh, hard to appreciate after this scene. She's kind of overly cruel and mean, and he's kind of like has no self-respect for someone who seems to be like a handsome athlete who could have like probably his choice of girlfriends, but he's groveling for some reason as if he was a pathetic loser. Then we see her girlfriend, potential girlfriend. It's not explicitly stated. And she finds a yo-yo. She spins the yo-yo. It breaks, and then she hits her head on a piece of wood, pushing a bowling ball. What's a bowling ball doing in a aviation museum, you might ask? I'm asking myself the same question, to be honest. It crashes into a box which says Navy Property Operation Rainbow 2, which is the subtitle of this book. Time Lost, Operation Rainbow 2. The French love their English titles. So this is not a translation I'm doing. This is literally the title in English of a French book. Very common in France. So the bowling ball falls inside the machine. launches, activates the machines, because that's all it takes to activate a time machine is just, a little bit of pressure from the top. And then nothing seems to have happened on the interior, but then once they get outside, he finds his mom's car has been chopped in two at the front, the motor there, still melting lava. It's the only thing that's melted. Some only thing that seems to be heated for some strange reason. But the whole the area of the military base they were at is surrounded by jungle. And clearly, from the point of view of the reader, they're traveled back in time. We see our first dinosaur. Very cool. Absolutely well rendered T-Rex here. And we're going to get a lot of Jurassic Park vibes, especially in the next page here. Our janitor or, caretaker of the museum spots a velociraptor who's straight out of Jurassic Park in the design. And then the T-Rex, who's got, a little bit of horns on the back. He's got some skin issues, you might say. And is running through a jet. It's one of the coolest shots of the book, like just tearing through a couple of aircrafts. Not that they could have been used for anything. Yeah, they're not really pilots here. And that's it. They're trying to figure out what's happening. A lot of Marvel humor. It's like their world has been upended and they are like in a life or death situation, but that doesn't stop them from throwing quips around. Again, I think it's pretty much geared to a younger crowd, younger readers here. So a little bit of Marvel humor, what I call like quips, when you would expect a dramatic scene. It doesn't stop them from throwing jokes around. And they're rescued by this biomechanical contraption here. So it looks like a mech that's been rebuilt from old World War II gears, or maybe other wars. Because we'll find out there's people from different times that have been kind of all brought back to this prehistoric time period. Very cool battle of a mech between a T-Rex. I think this is the coolest scene of the book. Very awesome. It's absolutely sensational. And we see people who are from different wars. So it's not just World War II. We're not seeing just people from that war. Apparently, people have been traveling from using this time machine contraption from various time zones. And so we kind of get an idea of who's leading here. They're not following the usual ranking system. One of the characters here instructs us that it's about bravery and just whoever's the bravest, who's kind of earns the respect and that's how they gain their pecking order. Our caretaker here grabs a gun and quickly threatens both people here. And they finally agree that they all need to be fighting against the Nazis and not each other, which is kind of strange because if you're thrown back into a prehistoric time, you'd think the humans would like get together and try to cooperate. But no, the Nazis are the absolute, unrepenting evil of many stories, including this one. And they find an aircraft carrier that was kind of sent back in time as well. And they seem to have built a kind of wooden fort with the scraps of the aircraft carrier around there. And that's when we're brought to the end of the book, where we see the main character who we learn that there's only like very few women. I think there's only one woman, this redhead here, before these two young ladies kind of join the group. And they're told to be very obedient to this guy here, who we know nothing about. Don't contradict him and don't provoke him are the last words of this book. So very good looking book. I mean, a few criticisms I might have, like the cheerleader and the ladies could look a little hotter to my personal taste. And well, the story, I did point out the things I found kind of lacking in the story, but generally it's a well-written book. If you like humor, very lighthearted for younger audiences. And this was time lost. So I hope I didn't lose you and I didn't make you lose your time, but that's it. Thank you for joining me. As always, I'm Frederic Guimont. This has been Bande Dessinée for Stupid Muricans. I hope you got a laugh out of it, and I will see you next week. Later, leave a comment and a like as always. Thank you.